Hi guys, and welcome to my review for two IEMs from, let's say, the KZ universe. The first one is the KZ Phantom, which is here on the left hand side, which is in effect basically the Zenith, but retuned slightly for a more gaming, let's say, application. And the other one is the KZ Kunten, which has been out for a while, and it's been an IEM that's been creating all the rage because the tuning that it has, it's all this and that and blah 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 blah. Well, let's get things clear here. Every single one of these IEMs that I have in front of you, so be it the Zenith, the Phantom, the Kunten, be it the ZX Pro, be it the EDX Pro X, be it the Saga, they all have the super linear driver. So, in effect, what that basically means is that they will all have a very similar sound. And the difference that will exist between the sound of them is basically down to how they are tuned, which in essence is very similar, mind you, and the shell and the respective volumes of the shell, and especially if the nozzle is a metal nozzle or a plastic nozzle. Metal, 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 plastic, metal. Okay, the metal. All right. Okay. So these are the two things that will basically distinguish how every single one of them sound. Now, how does the superlinear driver, how good is the superlinear driver? How does it sound? How capable is it? In a nutshell, it's a incredible driver. When you actually consider how cheap it is, because when it's applied or when it's used in an IM like the EDX Pro X, which costs $10, $11, or even in the Kunten, which costs $12, it cannot be an expensive driver. It has to be a cheap driver to manufacture. But the truth is, KZ developed that driver properly. And this is one case where we have to give kudos where it is deserved. KZ has been, a brand that's been massacred at times. I myself had been critical at points with regards to their products, but for the most part, the amount of times that I have been critical are minimal compared to the times that I have been positive and that I am positive about KZ and how I praise KZ. Even with those few times that I didn't like things and I said it openly, overall, I think KZ is an incredible brand. They offer a value for price performance ratio which is unmatched by any other manufacturer basically, or very difficult to match by other manufacturers. TRN and CVJ are possibly the only two that can come even close to it. Okay, overall, and this is not with specific models, but over the whole board of the IAMs that they offer. I mean, the PRX, their single planar, incredible for the $30 odd that it costs. I mean, how are you going to criticize it? Honestly, guys, let's be realistic. How are you going to criticize it? Now, let's talk about the Kunten and what the Kunten offers and what it doesn't offer. Well, the reality is the Kunten is in essence a ZVX Pro, which is this one here, or a Saga. It's got a tuning that's more similar to the ZVX Pro, so not as bass emphasized as the Saga is, and this is the balanced version, not even the bass version. And it also is a very similar sounding IM to the EDX Pro X. The difference here that exists is that you do find the treble here on both the ZVX Pro and on the Kunten to be just a little bit cleaner, a little bit more detailed because of that nozzle being metal, while here on the Pro X, because it is a plastic nozzle, it sounds just a little bit muffled. And by muffled, I mean, it's not even muffled the correct word. Not as sparkly, not as detailed, okay? And the differences, trust me when I say, are minimal. Now, overall, what is the sound? And again, there's very little things here that I can criticize because be it the ZVX Pro, be it the Kunten, and I'm just trying to get them all here so that I can speak, be it the Kunten or be it the Pro X, what we are getting is a very well tuned single DD. Nice bass. That 100 Hz point corresponds to 2 kilohertz, give or take, in any one of them. The amount of energy that you have below 100 Hz is the same as the amount of energy that you have above 2 kilohertz. So that there's a very nicely balanced frequency response. There's no peaks, there's nothing. There is just a very well gliding style of bass that's clean. It's got just the right amount of mid bass impact. The pinna gain is it's a nice clean pinna gain, non-offensive. A little bit more pinna on the ZVX Pro and on the EDX on the ZVX Pro and on the EDX Pro X, but I mean it's not even, I cannot even say that it's something that can be audible, because the difference is 1 dB. You could easily be looking at these IEMs and saying that this is left channel and right channel, and accept it as a reality. Okay, now overall, what does all of this translate to? Like I said, it translates to a very easy to listen to IEM. It does well all genres of music. Basically, it's got clean vocals, male and female vocals come across beautifully. Bass is clean, it's detailed, it's fast enough. It's got that nice weight that you want. Confers music that the EDM music, especially the proper weight that it should confer. Up top, plenty of details. The treble is not aggressive, it's not offensive. There's no sibilance, nothing. Technically, good soundstage in any one of the three. Better on the ZVX Pro and on the Kunten, but minimal. I mean, honestly, guys, you have to be really kind of nitpicking to try and find any differences which are going to be really audible. But soundstage is a little bit better here on these two, on the ZVX Pro and on the Kunten. Imaging is about the same on all three. Detailed retrieval, better again on the Kunten and on the ZVX Pro, but by a minimal margin. And timbre and tonality across the three of them is basically the same. They all sound incredible. Be it the Pro X, like I said, okay, be it the ZVX Pro or be it the Kunten. Now, what is the one that here makes the most sense? Guys, it's all going to depend on basically what price you can get them for. Obviously, the Pro X is the cheaper. The ZVX Pro is a full metal shell, and the Kunten is a mix of a resin and metal. I would, me personally, I would go for the ZVX. It's the one that I think will offer the most sturdiness. I like the fact that it's got that open back as well, design there. On the Kunten, they've also used the same premise, and I think that's the reason why they sound so similar. On the EDX Pro X, the open back is not as prominent because it's just a few holes that there are here on the faceplate, and you have to look carefully for them. But guys, trust me, when I say these two sound the same, they sound the same. So all the hype going around saying the Kunten is the what, guys, it is a ZVX Pro. And if anything, I even have to apologize, because when I did my top IEMs from KZ, I should have included the ZVX Pro as well. And to be totally honest and fair, I would even say the ZVX Pro is probably an IEM that makes more sense than the Saga. Especially because the Saga balanced version has got that little extra amount of bass, fine, but that little extra amount of bass does make the sound when you're going back and forth between the three of them, sound a little bit closed down as comparatively. So the one that's going to be the most harmonious of the three definitely is going to be these two, with my preference going for the ZVX Pro because of it's a full metal shell. The one that's going to sound the more bass focused, it's going to be the Saga. But these two, Kunten, KZ GQ Kunten or ZVX Pro, are the same IEM. They are both incredible IEM. Just a metal shell here, full metal shell here, and a mix of metal and resin or plastic. Both open back design as well. Really nice, really nice sounding IEM. You can't fault it at the price. I'm not even gonna go here into, oh, but this sounds, forget it, guys. This is a solid IEM, just like the ZVX Pro is a solid IEM. Now, on to the Phantom. The Phantom has the nicer looking shell. Okay, that's why it also costs $40 odd. It's got the switches which work just like on the Zenith. The Zenith is an IEM which is more expensive. It's more expensive. It's the most expensive implementation of the super linear driver, around $60 odd price point. The Phantom, I've seen it at $45. Actually, to be honest with you, maybe it was just a launch, price, releasing price. I think ultimately, the price will probably approximate itself better. The Zenith does come with a little bit better accessories package. The Phantom does have a very simple accessory package. Otherwise, again, one or the other, the differences here are minimal. And what are the differences between the Phantom and the Zenith? They basically reside in the fact that and let me just take away some of these graphs so things are a little bit more visible to me at least. Where's it? Zenith, number 6, exactly. And number 4 is the Phantom. The Phantom has just a little bit extra more bass. I'm talking about a 2 dB below 50 Hertz, and it plateaus better from 2 to 8 kilohertz over the Zenith. It also seems to have just a little bit extra amount of treble past 10K. Very minor differences, but overall, and this is being totally fair because I love the Zenith. I think the Zenith is a phenomenal IEM, honestly. I think the Phantom is just that little extra more up my alley. Let's put it that way. Why? Because it's got that little bit extra amount of information past 10K that the Zenith at times was lacking, and you could pick up on it if you were really listening to it. Now, comparing the current prices, which makes the most sense? Phantom. Phantom is also commercialized as a gaming IEM, and again, I think this whole gaming thing is not really fair. I mean, this plays music phenomenally well. And if I have to compare it to the Kunten and to the ZVX Pro, it's along those lines of sound. It sounds like that, with the added advantage of having the tuning switches, which allow you for a little bit more versatility in how you want the IEM to basically sound. But it's got basically the same tuning as the Kunten, let's put it that way. Full metal shell and the switches. Now, does that justify its 3.5 times the price point? Only you can say, honestly. The shell looks the part, looks the business. I mean, it looks really nice, and you got the tuning switches as well and everything. To me, if I was going to be buying an IEM and I wanted the ultimate KZ example, I would go for the Phantom. Now, if I cannot afford those 40 odd or 50 odd dollars that the Phantom costs, would I be happy with the Kunten? Because I would know that I have in the Kunten basically the same performance in essence as I have here on the Phantom, with all the switches up, with that versatility. Yes. Now, the fact that you have the switches then does allow for alternative tunings, which will then make the Phantom more proficient in certain applications, without a doubt, and that then is ultimately the justification. But if you're just going to be using it in one setting and listening to music, like I do most of the time, the Kunten or the ZVX Pro will give you the same basic experience as the Phantom at a significantly lower price. Now, does the Phantom have its justification for the extra price? Of course it does. I just said so. And ultimately then, if you can afford it, it makes sense. You're getting the same sort of overall sound, clean, well-executed bass, incredible mid-range, really clean treble, non-aggressive, non-offensive. If anything, I even find the treble in the extension here, like I mentioned, just ever so slightly superior to the Zenith, is a very, very good IEM. Again, period, end of story. It easily will compete against IEMs like the Tourbillon, the TE Pro from KBE, or it will compete and stand up quite well to the Guangxi from Venture Electronics, or even the likes of the HIFI MK10. It is that good. That's how good I think the KZ Phantom is. It is that competent. And then your decision will rely basically on, or will, on what those IEMs offer in terms of accessories and overall sound capabilities versus this one. This one does have that very strong, favor going for it, which is the fact that it has these tuning switches which work well and do change the character of the Phantom overall dramatically, making it more suited to different styles of music, or even like gaming, like the premise here on the Phantom is. So, as a sum up, Phantom, GK Kunten, both incredible IEMs. I don't see the need for all that hype that's been going around the GK Kunten, sorry, that, it is this and that. No, it's basically a ZVX Pro. End of story, okay? And the Kunten and the ZVX Pro are in essence basically a Phantom with all the switches up. And the Phantom is in essence basically a Zenith, just with a little bit extra spice here and there. Not major differences, but noticeable in the right times and in the right music and in the right conditions, let's put it that way. So, thumbs up, KZ, well done. 2 really incredible IEMs, without a doubt. And I know some of you might say, again, copy paste. Guys, it is what it is. Okay, let me show you the graphs and wrap it up. Okay, guys, here's the graphs now for the Kunten and for the Phantom. This is the graph of the Kunten. As you can see, nicely done bass, 100 hertz point corresponds there to 2 kilohertz, the amount of energy there, nicely balanced with the amount of energy from the bass side. Really nice tuning, really nicely done tuning. ZVX Pro, same thing. I mean, guys, trust me, this and this, you're gonna be really hard pressed to pick up on it. And as for the EDX Pro X, again, guys, very hard to notice it. The EDX Pro X might actually come across as being the one that sounds the most intense, and I'm comparing it just now with the Kunten, and the reality is no, it's the one that actually has the warmest sound of the three. Not a huge difference, but it's got the warmest sound of the three. For the sake of comparison as well, and I've got here the Saga. Let me put it here in black. Okay, this is the Saga, and the Saga, yes, when compared to the Kunten, as you can see, does have a lot more bass. You notice there's a difference between the two of them. It doesn't sound as balanced as the Kunten does, and the ZVX Pro again sounds more balanced, more coherent overall. And once again, I apologize for not having put this one into the comparison that I did earlier. So there you have it, guys. I mean, KZ ZVX Pro, GK Kunten, EDX Pro X, and they are the same. Okay, same. Now going now to the Phantom. This is the KZ Phantom, okay, in the all up position, and this is the Zenith in the all up position. And the differences you can see is there a little bit, and there and there. And it's noticeable, especially in the air. Especially here, it is noticeable that the Phantom does have a little bit extra energy. How does the Phantom compare to the ZVX Pro? Guys, you see, almost the same. How does it compare to the GK Kunten? There, almost the same. So as I said, if you can't afford a Phantom and you're just going to listen to it in one position, get yourself a Kunten, you'll be happy. Get yourself a ZVX Pro and you'll be happy. Okay, you do notice the difference with the ZVX Pro, the Kunten, the Phantom. You do notice the difference between those three, and then the EDX Pro X. It's easier to notice that difference there. But guys, it's never a huge difference. It's always the same driver, just used in different shells with different volumes, and then with the ability to be adjustable in the tuning or not, like the case of the Phantom is, and having that metal nozzle which ultimately dictates how things end up. Interesting thing here just to mention, the Phantom, as you can see here, it corresponds to just below 2 kilohertz at point, the matching point. But in audible, really listening to it and going through the, when I compared it to the Kunten, I didn't really notice a difference. Honestly, I really did not feel the difference. And when doing the comparison with the ZVX Pro, again, very difficult to notice any difference. Okay. Anyway, this is it. Wrapping it up. KZ Kunten and KZ Phantom. Two very good IEMs in this budget segment of the market. All right. As always, like and subscribe. Take care now. Bye bye.